Lots to discuss over the next 60 minutes, but our top focus is what has happened and what continues to happen in Manipur. What essentially started months ago as clashes between two ethnic groups has now resulted in something extremely disgraceful and shameful. A video has now come to light of an episode that happened on the 4th of May, where two women were paraded naked and raped as well. There are other allegations of the victims' families being targeted as well. But as we pointed out, the episode happened on the 4th of May and it came to light only on the 19th of July. Till now, only one arrest has been made. And we here at News18, in fact, have accessed those first images of that only arrest that has been made of a man who's now been identified as Heradas, and those images on your screens as well. But as I pointed out, what is extremely shocking is the sequence of events and how slow the action has been. Let's first bring in our colleague and senior editor Pallavi Ghosh, who is joining us on the broadcast. So Pallavi, the episode happened on the 4th of May. Video comes to light on the 19th of July. Within 24 hours, an arrest is made. It's already been over 2 months. We've accessed the first images of the man who's been arrested, now identified as Heradas. What more do we know about the man who's been arrested?
Well, he's just the one who leaded the pack. If you in fact look at the video which was leaked out last night, he was the one who was right at the front, and he was the one who was groping one of the two women who are believed to have been abused. And that's the main reason why he's been called the chief culprit. It is also believed that he's the person who could have masterminded or organized the entire strategy, because now more or less the agencies are convinced that it was a kind of a coordinated strategy, and therefore it was not just an impromptu mob which actually surrounded these two women, for example. That's really the critical factor. There are a couple of questions which certainly come up. Or can this be seen as an intelligence failure of the state government, that they were not able to be aware of this incident till that video surfaced? So what kind of a hands-on situation are they having? And that's where he's coming for a bit of criticism as far as opposition parties go. But having said that, what is it that the state agencies and the central government agencies are doing? Well, they are working in a coordinated manner. Ever since this footage came out, we are being told by our government sources that the nodal ministries, the Home Ministry, the Prime Minister's office, in coordination with the state government, is trying to track down all those people who were a part of that mob. And with his first arrest, they feel that there is a breakthrough, because they're going to use him, they're going to interrogate him, and also to try and get the addresses and the whereabouts of the others who were a part of that mob frenzy.
Yeah, Pallavi, we'll have to leave that conversation there. Thanks a lot for getting us those details. One arrest has been made, but the arrest has come too late in the day. Let's just break down the details of what are the kind of horrors that have played out over the last few months in Manipur. Let's first break down the sequence of events for you to understand the story better. This episode, the video that you must have seen, actually dates back to the 4th of May, when two women were paraded naked as a backlash of the clashes that continued between these two groups. It was only on the 18th of May when any action was actually taken and FIR was registered. But what was even more shocking in the FIR was the language that was used. It mentioned it was against unknown armed miscreants, despite the fact that the men were extremely evident and visible as far as this entire episode is concerned. But only on the 19th of July, that was yesterday, is when this video has finally surfaced, which means 2 months have already passed since this episode happened, and now one arrest has finally happened. On the 20th of July, some heads have rolled, and one arrest of a man, we just put out those images, who's now been identified as Heradas, stands arrested. Authorities on the ground saying we're confident of arresting the others as well. Now let's talk to you in detail about what does the FIR say. As I pointed out, there was already a delay in filing the FIR itself, because the episode happened on the 4th of May. The FIR was filed only on the 18th. What did it say? It said 3 women abducted from police custody by a mob. We're understanding the mob was anywhere between 1,000 to 1,500 people. Women abducted just 2 kilometers away from a police station. Many questions being raised as far as the inaction and the lack of intent by police officials and other authorities on the ground. 3 women then are forcibly stripped naked in front of the mob. Many testimonies now coming to light indicating of what the victims had to go through. They were threatened, either you strip or there will be dire repercussions and consequences, many of the family members being attacked as well. A younger woman's brutally gang raped in broad daylight, her family members, as I pointed out, being targeted as well. Victim's father and brother killed on the spot. So the question is, if all of this happened just about 2.5 kilometers away from a police station, what resulted in the police authorities doing absolutely nothing? And also what the state administration was doing, how come they had no idea of all the horrors that were playing out? So what really are the big questions? The first big question is, why did it take 2 months for the Chief Minister to acknowledge the May 4th episode? He's gone on to now say that he's only come to know of the episode after this video went viral. The second big question is, why were there no arrests made despite an FIR that was in place since the 18th of May? As I pointed out, the arrest has happened only on the 20th of July. The third big question is, did the police not communicate to the state government as far as the May 4th episode is concerned? Was there absolute breakdown of communication between both the parties? Journalists and others have been able to track the victims. So what's led to the police not being able to act as far as these perpetrators and also speak to the victims to try and get their testimonies in place? And the fifth question is, was victims' family given protection? Because as we pointed out, as testimonies have come to light, it shows that victims' families were targeted as well. Let's also now bring in our colleague Arunima, who in fact has also been trying to piece the sequence of events together to try and understand the inaction and part of various authorities, the state government as well as police authorities. Arunima, there are no words. It's shameful, it's disgraceful. There is no action that has happened. So the larger question is, will these victims and their families ever get justice? If you try and put the sequence of events together, the episode happens on the 4th of May, but the FIR is only registered on the 18th. So there is almost a 15-day delay there itself. You've been speaking to a lot of officials. Have they been able to explain the delay or why the FIR was registered only on the 18th?
Well, the explanation is there in the FIR itself. If you see, the zero FIR was registered on the 18th, which means the Thana in which the FIR is lodged is not the Thana concerned. Jurisdictional issue means that they can't investigate the matter. So the actual probe, the actual FIR in the designated Thana, designated police station actually begins on the 21st. So from 4th to 21st, crucial 17 days are gone already. If you see the FIR, it says because of the communal and ethnic tension, the complainant was unable to reach the Thana earlier and tell the police about what exactly had happened. And even in that case, the complainant is not the victim, not the immediate family members or next of kin. It is one of the village heads who has gone and told the police that this is what he saw. This is what people in the village have told him. And the sequence of event is this, that this village was attacked. It was burned down completely. These 5 members, the brother, the father of the younger victim, the older woman and another victim. So 5 of them managed to escape, hide in the forest. Police, now this is where 2 versions are. Police party was definitely present there. The victims have told some media outlets that they thought police abandoned them, handed them over to the mob. Police said that the mob snatched them away. So when I asked the top officials of the Manipur police what action against these cops, we were told that matter can be taken care of later. The immediate priority is to get hold of the accused. One suspect arrested. They are very confident that in the next 24 hours, more could.
Arunima, we'll just request you to stay on with us because as we pointed out, this episode that has come to light is not the only unfortunate episode that has happened. We've been able to put together a sequence of events of what we know so far, of what are the kind of horrors that have played out in Manipur over the last few months. And this is a compilation that we've been able to do based on various news reports. What we're understanding now is over 160 people have lost their lives or have been killed in Manipur over the last few months. We're also understanding over 60,000 people have also been displaced because of the unrest that continues in Manipur. 50,000 plus lodged in about 349 relief camps, as I pointed out, what essentially started as clashes between 2 ethnic groups. This is the kind of turn it has now taken. Nearly 5,000 arson incidents have also been reported just in the last few months. 5,995 FIRs have been registered so far over these multiple episodes. Over 180 arrests have been made, and this is data available till the 4th of July. What we're also understanding is out of these people, over 100 have already gotten bail, and the data again dates back to about 4th of July. 124 para-convoys have been deployed on the ground to try and contain the situation, to try and restore normalcy in Manipur. 184 army columns have also been stationed, as I pointed out, to ensure that no untoward incident takes place. We're also understanding there are 60,000 central security forces that have been posted as well. Despite all of this, episodes like these still continue. Before we go back to our colleagues, let's listen in to what the Chief Minister of Manipur has had to say so far.
The state government will not keep silent. State government will not keep silent. Immediately after seeing the video, I asked to have mass combing operation where the suspected areas, and I also asked to the cybercrime to see the video's authenticity. And yesterday night itself, in around 1:30 a.m., we have arrested one man culprit who are involved in this heinous crime.
So the Chief Minister of Manipur, N. Biren Singh, there confirming that he actually came to know about this episode only once the video went viral, raising multiple questions as to how the Chief Minister had no clue about what was happening over the last 2 months. He's also assuring of all possible action and stern action against the culprits. Let's also now bring in our colleague Kamalika Sengupta, who's been tracking these developments. But Kamalika, that really is the big question. How did the Chief Minister have no clue about what was happening in his own state over the last 2 months? He's saying, I came to know about the episode only once the video went viral. Was there no communication from local authorities, police officials, and the Chief Minister?
Absolutely, it's a lawlessness. Lawlessness is there. That is quite clear, because if the Chief Minister comes to know about this matter after 2 months, then that's a big question on the law and order situation of Manipur. Not this is the question. The question is also, you know that we have spoken to the governor exclusively. The governor is also asking the same question, that if this video would not have surfaced out, then this act would not have come in front of the people. So big question definitely on the state government, big question definitely on the police, on the administration, and the big gap is 18th May was the FIR was filed on 18th May, and the first arrest took place in 28th July. That means this video, if this video would not have come up, then what would have happened? And are there more videos like this? Are there more heinous acts like this? This is a big question. That is the leading question today, which obviously the administration, Chief Minister of Manipur has to answer. We have spoken to a number of people out there, but the governor herself, she is helpless. You know, the way she said to me that we don't know when the violence will end. So these are all, if we put all these things together, definitely big question on the law and order situation, on the police there on ground. What was the police doing? And this clearly projects the lawlessness that's there in Manipur, and that is the weapon of the opposition right now.
Yeah, and there is a lot of pressure that is being mounted by the opposition. Kamalika and Arunima will request you to stay on with us. As the monsoon session of Parliament started today, the Prime Minister also spoke as far as these horrific episodes in Manipur were concerned, and he said the entire country hangs their head in shame. But the opposition hasn't been convinced, because we saw ruckus all through the day, with both houses of Parliament being adjourned till 11 a.m. tomorrow morning. Let's listen in to some political reactions first.
आज जब मैं आपके बीच आया हूं, इस लोकतंत्र के मंदिर के पास खड़ा हूं, तब मेरा हृदय पीड़ा से भरा हुआ है, क्रोध से भरा हुआ है। मणिपुर की जो घटना सामने आई है, किसी भी सभ्य समाज के लिए ये शर्मसार करने वाली घटना है। पाप करने वाले, गुनाह करने वाले कितने हैं, कौन है, वो अपनी जगह पे है, लेकिन बेइज्जती पूरे देश की हो रही है। 140 करोड़ देशवासियों को शर्मसार होना पड़ रहा है। मैं सभी मुख्यमंत्रियों से आग्रह करता हूं कि वे अपने राज्य में कानून व्यवस्था को और मजबूत करें, खास करके हमारी माताओं बहनों की रक्षा के लिए कठोर से कठोर कदम उठाएं। घटना चाहे राजस्थान की हो, घटना चाहे छत्तीसगढ़ की हो, घटना चाहे मणिपुर की हो, इस देश में हिंदुस्तान के किसी भी कोने में, किसी भी की राज्य सरकार में राजनीतिक वाद विवाद से ऊपर उठ करके कानून व्यवस्था का महात्मा, नारी का सम्मान, और मैं देशवासियों को विश्वास दिलाना चाहता हूं, किसी भी गुनहगार को बख्शा नहीं जाएगा। कानून अपनी पूरी शक्ति से, पूरी सख्ती से एक के बाद एक कदम उठाएगा। मणिपुर की इन बेटियों के साथ जो हुआ है, इसको कभी माफ नहीं किया जा सकता है।
No other business till 267 is discussed first. Where does 176 come into this? There's no 176. It is on 267, and we want a discussion here on Manipur. We want a discussion, and the Prime Minister has to open his mouth.
One second.
Manipur. How can you open?
Honorable member,
How is the Prime Minister of India?
one second.
दोनों में विपक्ष का रवैया देख के ये स्पष्ट हो जाता है कि वो मन बना के आए हैं कि सदन को चलने नहीं देना है, सदन की कार्रवाई को सुचारू रूप से आगे नहीं बढ़ाना है, और शायद उनके दिल में कुछ खोट है।
Two women. Tomorrow it can be me, it can be any of your sisters, it can be any of our... It is just shocking, the Prime Minister's reaction. He's totally insensitive. He needs to hang his head in shame. The world is looking at this.
विपक्षी दल इसको राजनीति के रूप में देखते हैं, राजनीति करना चाहते हैं। हमने सदनों में कहा कि हम चर्चा के लिए तैयार हैं, लेकिन विपक्ष चर्चा से भागना चाह रहा है।
So political face-off is also now erupted as far as the Manipur issue is concerned. The government is saying that we are now ready to discuss as far as the ongoing situation in Manipur is concerned. It's in fact the opposition that is trying to derail the proceedings of the House, which resulted in adjournments till tomorrow morning. Arunima continues to be with us. And Arunima, that's the point that the union ministers have made all through the day, that you'd been saying you wanted a discussion on Manipur. The government has said yes as far as the discussion on the issue is concerned. It's now the opposition that is trying to derail the proceedings. When you have an opportunity, why do you want to waste it?
You know, beyond the Prime Minister's statement of condemning what has happened and saying that we are all ashamed, it looks like that the Treasury and the opposition are completely on divergent note as far as the Manipur incident is concerned. Opposition on the floor of both Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha has been demanding that there be a discussion, that this is the most important issue. Everything else must be set aside to discuss this. Whereas the government on the beach, the ruling side focus seems to be how was this video leaked, questioning the timing of the video leak, asking whether there was any conspiracy since the video emerged just hours before the monsoon session of Parliament was to convene. This was said by N. Biren Singh in his conversation with CNN News 18. This was retweeted by Ramchandra Prasad as well. This seems to be the general line. So the question is that does the government then suspect some ulterior motive, do they suspect? And N. Biren Singh also spoke of the cybercrime unit of Manipur police being asked to look at the authenticity of the video. Having carried out the first arrest, it looks like the police and the administration of Manipur is more or less convinced that the video is authentic, but they're still questioning the timing and looking whether there was any consistency. They're also asking Twitter and other social media platforms as to how such a barbaric video was allowed to be shared. And this is against norms. The opposition, on the other hand, is focusing on the brutality of the crime itself, asking whether this is only one-off incident or there are more such incidents that have been brushed under the carpet. And they're saying that is what the Prime Minister must come and answer.
Yeah, Arunima, we'll just request you to stay on with us. As we pointed out, there are multiple questions that still remain unanswered, and a lot of these answers will have to come from police authorities on the ground and the state administration as well. We're getting some ground reports also now coming in. Let's take a look.
The people of Manipur are reeling from shock and anger after a disturbing viral video emerged
resisting the reprehensible act of two women being paraded naked by armed miscreants on May 4th. The incident has centered the nation, making the collective sense of outrage and grief for the victims who endured such an traumatic experience. In response to the incident, Heradas, the son of late Heradas Singh, has been arrested, providing a glimmer of hope for justice. The minister encouraging assurance of thorough investigations and strict action against all the perpetrators with the possibility of capital punishment offers some resurgence to the aggrieved community and the nation as whole. The Indian government directed to the social media platform to remove the distressing video during this ongoing investigation demonstrate a commitment to preserving the dignity of the victims and ensuring that the case is not compromised. The incident has sparked nationwide solidarity with the people demanding swift and severe punishment for those responsible for this heinous act. The need for justice and condemnation of such atrocities is echoed from every corner of the country, with citizens standing united to the support of the people of Manipur and the victims affected by this heart-wrenching event.
Well, considering the fact the episode is already 2 months old, the entire focus now is whether the victims and their families will get some answers and eventual justice. This is a story that we'll keep tracking very, very closely. For now, we're slipping into a very short break.
Thank you for getting us all those details. We'll keep coming back to you for more updates on this story. Unfortunate news coming in from the state of Maharashtra, where a landslide occurred in Kangpokpi, in which 4 people have been dead and 3 have been injured. Now, Chief Minister Eknath Shinde has reached the site to take stock of the situation. NDRF and police teams are also present at the spot. As many as 30 families are feared trapped. The incident occurred at Kangpokpi in Raigad, which is 6 kilometers away from Chowk village near Morbe Dam, the water supplier for Navi Mumbai. CNN News 18's Yasha Kotak is joining us on this story. Yasha, can you give us the latest updates on this unfortunate incident that has taken place in Maharashtra?
So yes, in fact, what has been reported, in fact, sources have said that as of now, there are 4 people who reported dead in this incident. There are 3 who've been rescued, injured. Now, like you rightly mentioned, there were more than 35 families. Because of incessant rain overnight, there was a landslide that occurred in the Isilgarh village, which is in Kangpokpi. This is in the Raigad district. We've seen that yesterday the Raigad district was on red alert, which is that it was constantly pouring since the morning, and late in the night around 12 o'clock was when this incident was reported. Now, considering that it's still been pouring at Raigad, the rescue operations are on by the NDRF team. There are approximately 4 NDRF teams which have been asked to look after this particular incident. And considering it's raining, the rescue operations are taking a bit longer, but there have been people who've been still trapped in debris, is what we understand from our sources. And several ministers, including Uday Samant, Dada Saheb Bhuse, they rushed the spot overnight. And even now, we see that Chief Minister Eknath Shinde has also reached the location to take a stock of the situation. In fact, now, considering that the rescue operations are on and CM has listed, there will be more updates that will be coming in. As of now, there has been a preliminary information considering that late last night this incident took place. And now the teams have been, in fact, put into action. What we see, in fact, Anjali, for that matter, is that every year, because of rains, there are landslides that occur in Raigad. In fact, the most affected landslide that had taken place in Maharashtra was that of Malin around approximately 10 years back, following which just a few years back there was another landslide that took place in the Raigad area, and this is in fact the 3rd one. However, we need to wait it out to see the intensity of this landslide, whether the families who were staying there, this is in fact on the foothills of Isilgarh Fort. Now, in fact, what needs to be seen is that the kind of intensity that this has had, because it was late in the night, were there are a lot of people trapped inside. So the rescue operations are on. It is taking a bit longer, which is the NDRF is not able to confirm as to how many people are still trapped inside the debris, but they of course safely confirmed that there were more than 35 families staying in there. And as of now, there have been 4 dead bodies that have been rescued, that have been brought out from the debris, and 3 people rescued from there. Yes.
So, Yasha, the death toll can rise further.
Yes, Anjali, there's a possibility of a death toll rising further because what really happens in these areas, these are usually tribal communities who stay in forest or they stay around the foothills or on hills. In this case, their houses, their ancestral houses, have been built for years. However, we see that because of several factors, there are landslides that take place around this area, and usually what happens with such villages is that the entire village sometimes gets washed out. There are various houses which are affected. Only once there is an official statement is when we'll be able to in fact confirm as to how many houses have been affected, how many people are still trapped inside. But such landslides which they take place around the hill areas, it is usually a huge village of a particular community. Here in case we understand the Thakur community which was staying there. And these are tribal villages who stay in those areas, and considering the incident had taken place late in the night, it is only now that there will be a bit of light there. There will be some clarity from the officials who are working on the spot. Yes.
All right, Yasha, please stay with us. Now let's take a look at this ground report by News 18's Vishal Patil.
महाराष्ट्र के रायगढ़ जिले में इरशाल गांव के ऊपर लैंडस्लाइड हो गया है। इसमें 60 लोग फंस चुके हैं, ये प्राथमिक जानकारी है। और इस यहाँ देख सकते हैं जहाँ लैंडस्लाइड हो गया है वहाँ पर हम पहुँच नहीं सकते क्योंकि बहुत बड़ी रिस्क वहाँ पर है। एनडीआरएफ की टीम वहाँ पर गई है, बहुत ही ऊंचाई पर ये घटना हुई है। और यहाँ हम देख सकते हैं कि चारों तरफ से लोग जो है वो यहाँ आए हैं। 60 लोग फंसे हैं, ऐसी प्राथमिक माहिती जो है वो जानकारी मिली है। और इस वक्त अभी देख सकते हैं कि यहाँ पर एनडीआरएफ की टीम आ गई है, एम्बुलेंस जो है यहाँ पर तैनात किए गए हैं। ये जिले के पालक मंत्री और महाराष्ट्र के सरकार में जो बड़े मंत्री है वो भी अभी यहाँ मौजूद है। रात में ये घटना घटी हुई है, रात को 11:30 बजे ये घटना हो चुकी है। इसलिए इरशाल गांव के ऊपर ये बड़ा आक्रोश जो है वो हो चुका है। लैंडस्लाइड की वजह से अभी तक 60 लोग जो है वो उसमें फंस गए हैं।
Crossing over to our correspondent Yasha Kotak, who's bringing us all the latest details on this incident. Yasha, tell us about the rescue operation that is underway.
So yes, we've seen that an NDRF team has been deployed. In fact, the information has come in was there were 2 NDRF teams which were already deployed there. 2 more have been asked to rush to the spot. So as of now, we can safely say that there are 4 NDRF teams who will be working on this particular incident. Apart from that, as of now, like we mentioned, that there's no clarity from NDRF officials as to how many people have been in fact trapped inside. But yes, in and around Maharashtra, we've seen that there were say more than 15 NDRF teams which were deployed. In fact, particularly considering that the situation was expected to be a little tense in Maharashtra for these 2 days, considering there was red alert declared in various parts of the state. These NDRF teams have were in Maharashtra at various locations. Now from these various locations, they've been asked to move towards Khalapur. Let us understand the whole proximity of Khalapur. Khalapur, which is in the Raigad district, is along the Lonavala and the Pune area when we head towards that side, which is where, considering this entire area is a hilly region, Khalapur is in fact a place where we usually see a village population, apart from that the tribal population which stays there. And most of these people are those who live around the hilly regions. And here, considering that this incident has taken place around the foothills of.
Welcome back. Thanks a lot for staying with us, and we're getting some breaking developments now coming in. Some news now coming in from Rajasthan, where amid the ongoing tussle between the Chief Minister Ashok Gehlot and Sachin Pilot, we're now understanding both these people have been named as far as the election committee is concerned. I'm looking at that list, has about 29 names, and names of Ashok Gehlot and Sachin Pilot also find a mention. You would remember this is of course coming at a time when the tussle between both these leaders still continues. Who will really be the next Chief Minister? That is a question that has been around the Congress for a very, very long time. And will they actually be able to sort differences between both these leaders? I'm looking at the list. It has the name of the chairman, that is Govind Singh. Then it has names of Ashok Gehlot, Jitendra Singh, Sachin Pilot, and many others, about 29 of them. Our colleague Sharon Elizabeth is now joining us on the broadcast. Sharon, how should we read this amid the leadership tussle that still continues? Concerns of who will the Congress pick, that still continues. Both these leaders finding a mention as far as the election committee is concerned.
and Sachin Pilot camp. Because remember, there were two demands that were in fact put forth by Sachin Pilot. One was a formal demand that he has in fact been officially while speaking to the media, has also in fact been saying an investigation against the Vasundhara government. Apart from that, how there should be an investigation on the paper leak as far as the examination is concerned. Now, that were, of course, acknowledged by the Congress High Command in the meeting, the last meeting that took place, where the leaders from Rajasthan were present. Now, the Sachin Pilot camp had an informal, in fact, demand that was put forth towards the Congress High Command, was that they need to have a say when it comes to the election committee. And that is why perhaps we are seeing that in the election committee, Rajasthan, that has in fact been formed by the Congress party, we are seeing not just Ashok Gehlot but Sachin Pilot also part of this election committee. So clearly, he will also have a say as to who should be getting the tickets. This was the demand that was put forth by the Sachin Pilot camp for a very long time, that when it comes to the assembly election, there needs to be a 50-50% say. If its ticket being given, if Ashok Gehlot has a say over 50% of the seats, then Sachin Pilot should equally have a say on the other 50% of the seats. So we are seeing that he is part of the election committee, but will it be an easy ride? Because when we go through the names, Govind Singh Dostara, who is the chairman of the committee, he has this inclination towards Ashok Gehlot. Apart from that, the number of names, if you see, they are mostly from Ashok Gehlot camp. So even if Sachin Pilot has been included in the election committee, will it actually be an easy ride for him? Will he actually have a say when it comes to the ticket, who should be the ticket distribution? Because when we see the names, they mostly look like around 30 to 40% of them looks like from the Ashok Gehlot camp. So it is not going to be easy as far as Sachin Pilot is concerned when it comes to the ticket distribution. Whether he's going to have a say or not is something that we have to wait and watch for. But so far, this looks like a win for Sachin Pilot camp, because this was a demand that they had been asking for a long time now.
Okay, Sharon, we'll have to leave that conversation there. Thanks a lot for getting us all those details. We have to quickly shift our focus to some other breaking developments also now coming in, and some news coming in from the national capital. And this is what sources within the office of the Lieutenant Governor, the LG, is now indicating to us here at CNN News 18. This could potentially be a new tussle between the Aam Aadmi Party and the LG. Sources within the LG's office telling us that even after a lapse of 4.5 years, Delhi's AAP government has failed to implement the national e-Vidhan application aimed at digitization of the House. Rupashri Nanda joining us on the broadcast with more details. Rupashri, as I said, this could potentially become another flashpoint between the Aam Aadmi Party and the LG. What are sources within the LG's office telling you?
Well, they are clearly saying that the elected government of the Aam Aadmi Party has failed to implement this national, e-Vidhan application process, which essentially aims at the digitization of the Delhi Assembly. They have also said that Delhi Assembly remains the only assembly in the entire country that has not been fully digitized. LG office sources also tell us that in 2019, actually, the central government had actually given all funds, but according to sources within that office, the Aam Aadmi Party government refused to accept the money and said that they are going to do it in their own with their own funds. That is, and they allocated 20 crores rupees for it, but the project never took off. And this delay essentially has prompted the Secretary of Parliamentary Affairs to write to the Lieutenant Governor and see if this process can be speeded up. Yes, as you said, that almost every decision or delay on the part of the Delhi government actually has become a flashpoint between the Lieutenant Governor's office and the elected government over here, particularly after the ordinance was brought in by the central government. And as you know, that the ordinance has also been referred to a constitution bench of the Supreme Court. So Delhi government, for the elected government of Delhi, actually it is a matter of life and death, because they've not been able to take decisions on their own. And the Lieutenant Governor's office actually believes that everything that the Delhi government does flouts all rules. And one of the examples that they've given is removing around 400 employees.
So as we're pointing out, this could potentially become a new flashpoint between the Aam Aadmi Party and the LG. It will be interesting to see if there's any official reaction that comes from the state government. Rupashi, unfortunately, we'll have to leave that conversation there. Thanks a lot for getting us those details. We have to quickly shift our focus to the other big story that we're tracking, which is what is happening in Maharashtra. There was a very unfortunate case of a landslide in Kolhapur, which till now has already resulted in 12 people losing their lives. But the fear now is that even as the rescue operations are on, many people could still be trapped under the debris. The NDRF and other teams are working round the clock to ensure that rescue operations can be expedited. The Chief Minister and the Deputy Chief Minister and other authorities also currently monitoring the situation. Let's take a look at some ground reports coming in.
रायगढ़ जिले के खालापुर तालुका में ईसालवाड़ी, यहाँ पर जिस तरीके से यहाँ पर आदिवासी जो लोग रहते थे, वहाँ पर आप देख रहे होंगे कि यहाँ पर जो मिट्टी का जो हिस्सा था ऊपर से वो यहाँ पर आया और कम से कम 40 से 45 घरों का यहाँ पर नुकसान हो चुका है। ये जो मलबा हटाने का काम एनडीआरएफ की जो टीम कर रही है, उसके नीचे कई लोग दबे हुए ऐसे आशंका जताई जा रही है। जिस तरीके से आपने देखा रात को 11 या 12 बजे के बीच में यहाँ पर ये पूरी तरह से जो मिट्टी का जो मलबा था वो नीचे आया और लगभग 40 से 45 घर यहाँ पे दबे, जिसमें लगभग करीबन 100 लोग रह रहे थे। ये जो आदिवासी वाड़ी जिसे कहा जाता है, वो वाड़ी में कम से कम 50 या 60 घर है, जिसमें से 40 या 45 घर मलबे के नीचे दबे। रात के अंधेरे में 12 बजे की ये बहुत दिल दहलाने वाली घटना जो घटी है ईसालवाड़ी खालापुर तालुका में, जो ईसालवाड़ी करके लगभग ये पर्वत के ऊपर लगभग 700 से 800 फुट ऊपर ये जो लोग रहते थे, यहाँ पर रहने का काम करते थे। लेकिन जिस तरीके से बारिश की वजह से रायगढ़ जिले में लगभग 4-5 दिनों से मूसलाधार बारिश शुरू है और इसी वजह से जो ऊपर वाला का जो पर्वत का जो हिस्सा था वो नीचे आया और मिट्टी पूरी तरह से उन घरों पर जा गिरी और पूरी तरह से 40 से 45 घर नीचे दबे। उनमें कम से कम लगभग 100 लोग करीबन थे। उसमें से अभी तक एनडीआरएफ की टीम ने और अदर्स टीम ने लगभग 10 या 12 लोग को रेस्क्यू किया है। इसमें से कम 4 बॉडीज निकाले हैं, लेकिन अभी भी लगभग 50 या 60 लोग अभी भी मलबे के नीचे दबे हुए ऐसी शंका जताई जा रही है।
महाराष्ट्र के रायगढ़ जिले में इरिशाल गांव के ऊपर लैंडस्लाइड हो गया है। इसमें 60 लोग फंस चुके हैं, ये प्राथमिक जानकारी है। और इस यहाँ देख सकते हैं जहाँ लैंडस्लाइड हो गया है वहाँ पर हम पहुँच नहीं सकते क्योंकि बहुत बड़ी रिस्क वहाँ पर है। एनडीआरएफ की टीम वहाँ पर गई है, बहुत ही ऊंचाई पर ये घटना हुई है और यहाँ हम देख सकते हैं कि चारों तरफ से लोग जो है वो यहाँ आए हैं। 60 लोग फंसे हैं, ऐसी प्राथमिक माहिती जो है वो जानकारी मिली है। और इस वक्त अभी देख सकते हैं कि यहाँ पर एनडीआरएफ की टीम आ गई है, एम्बुलेंस जो है यहाँ पर तैनात किए गए हैं। ये जिले के पालक मंत्री और महाराष्ट्र के सरकार में जो बड़े मंत्री है वो भी अभी यहाँ मौजूद है। रात में ये घटना घटी हुई है, रात को 11:30 बजे ये घटना हो चुकी है। इसलिए इरिशाल गांव के ऊपर ये बड़ा आक्रोश जो है वो हो चुका है लैंडस्लाइड की वजह से। अभी तक 60 लोग जो है वो उसमें फंस गए हैं।
Site of the Isalgarh collapse. The landslide that has taken place right here. We are here with the convoy of Chief Minister Eknath Shinde. Right here about this. What has really happened is that this place that you go up towards the actual village where the landslide has taken place, it's a 30-degree steep structure. My cameraman, while trying to cover up, he's also collapsed. It's a very slippery place. And that's why we are able to show you these visuals, which is why, considering that the nature of this place, that it is quite steep. There has been a path which has been cordoned off. In fact, 4 people going up. NDRF team and 7 teams from the local departments who are working right here have cordoned off this place and are asking people to not go up so that rescue operation can get. Though there is an orange alert declared here, rains have not really stopped. It is affecting the work. Approximately 85% of the village right behind me. In fact, it's so difficult to go up there because the 30-degree steep structure. After this structure that ends
at the Isargarh Fort, where a landslide has taken place late last night. Around 11:30 p.m. was when this incident was reported. Right here, I'll ask my video journalist Rajesh Aple to show you the preparations that are being made. This is a primary first aid center that has been set up by the local authorities out here, so that those who are being trapped in debris, when they are brought out, there'd be immediate help that can be provided to them. Also, let us actually get the shock of the situation. Right outside, it's still raining, which is where the rescue operation is becoming even more difficult. As of now, the information that's available, in fact, states that there were more than 50 families which were here. Approximately 48 families is the information that's coming in from the state government.
तो 4 पेशेंट देखा, उनको मार वगैरह लगा है, जो दबे हुए थे, जो बच के निकले, वो थोड़ा स्ट्रेस में भी थे, साइकोलॉजिकल भी तो डिप्रेस में थे, और थोड़ा इंजरीज है, ओपन इंजरीज थोड़ा इधर-उधर हो गया बस.
Right here, this is in fact one of the primary force center that has been set up. Up here, from here is where we in fact see is where this village is, where there was a landslide that took place. Even right now, we see that rains are constantly on.
सालवाड़ी जो है यहाँ पर ऊपर पहाड़ पे ये गढ़ के नीचे ये बस्ती बसी हुई है और इसमें 45 से 47 घर है, उसमें से 15 से 17 घर जो है मलबे के नीचे आए हैं और अब तक 4 कैजुअल्टी है और बाकी लोगों को बचाव कार्य बचाने का काम शुरू है. एनडीआरएफ है, एसडीआरएफ के, टीडीआरएफ के लोग हैं और जो लोकल रेस्क्यू टीम है वो भी काम कर रही है. और बारिश है और वहाँ पर कोई व्हीकल, वाहन व्यवस्था, जेसीबी ऐसे कुछ भी व्हीकल नहीं जा सकता है. ऐसी परिस्थिति में मैन्युअली काम शुरू है.
And we're shifting our focus to some other breaking developments now coming in. Politics over what has transpired in Manipur still continues, because now we're getting a reaction coming in from the Delhi Chief Minister Arvind Kejriwal, who's hit out at the Manipur Chief Minister N. Biren Singh. There's two things that he's gone on to say. One, he's questioned the silence of the Prime Minister till today, and he's also spoken about what the Manipur Chief Minister has said. Arvind Kejriwal is saying that if the Manipur Chief Minister is saying episodes like these continue to happen, then why can't no action has been taken till date? He's also said that the Chief Minister should step down because there has been no action that has been taken by authorities on the ground. Before we bring in our colleague, let's listen into what the Delhi Chief Minister had to say.
जो मणिपुर की पहली चीज तो मणिपुर के अंदर जिस तरह के हालात पिछले कुछ महीनों से बने हुए हैं और केंद्र सरकार खासकर प्रधानमंत्री जी ने इसके ऊपर कभी कुछ भी नहीं बोला, ये बहुत चिंताजनक है. कोई कार्रवाई नहीं की गई इस बारे में. और कोई दूसरी चीज, जो कल वीडियो पूरा वायरल हुआ जिसमें 2 बहनों को जिस तरह से निर्वस्त्र करके उनको परेड किया गया और उनके साथ सामूहिक तौर पे गलत काम किए गए, उससे पूरा देश की आत्मा झकझोर दी है उन वीडियोस ने. पता चला कि वो वीडियो अभी के नहीं है, 2.5 महीने पहले के हैं और 2.5 महीने के अंदर वहां की सरकार ने इस बारे में कुछ भी नहीं किया. ये बेहद शर्मनाक है, ये क्रिमिनल है, ये आपराधिक मामला बनता है. मैं बेहद दुख के साथ मुझे कहना पड़ रहा है कि इसके लिए मणिपुर सरकार और केंद्र सरकार दोनों जिम्मेदार हैं. अक्सर देखने में आया है कि इस तरह के जब भी कभी देश में वाकया होते हैं तो प्रधानमंत्री जी चुप्पी साध लेते हैं. ये एक बहुत कमजोर नेता की निशानी है और बहुत दुख की बात है कि ऐसे सेंसिटिव टाइम के अंदर प्रधानमंत्री जी ने कोई कदम नहीं उठाया. अगर समय पे कदम उठाया होता तो हमारी इन बहनों के साथ ऐसा अन्याय नहीं होता. दूसरा, मणिपुर के सीएम का ये बयान अभी मैं थोड़ी देर पहले देख रहा था कि ये एक घटना थोड़ी है, ऐसी तो बहुत घटनाएं घटी हैं. इसका मतलब तो पता नहीं कितनी बहनों के साथ ऐसा हुआ है मणिपुर के अंदर. और अगर बहुत सारी ऐसी घटनाएं घटी हैं तो उन्होंने क्या किया इस बारे में? उन्होंने क्यों नहीं पकड़ के लोगों को, जो दोषियों को जेल में डाला? वो कर क्या रहे थे अभी तक?
So those are the comments that are coming in from the Delhi Chief Minister, questioning the silence of the Prime Minister, as I pointed out, that why come the Prime Minister hadn't spoken till today, and also the inaction by the Manipur Chief Minister. Our colleague Rupashri is now back with us on the broadcast. Rupashri, the opposition continues to mount pressure on the government, many of them also asking for N. Biren Singh to resign, to step down, questioning that 2 months and no action has been taken. What are the specific demands that are coming forward as far as the Aam Aadmi Party is concerned?
Well, the Aam Aadmi Party has clearly said that they want the Prime Minister to intervene in this matter, and they have actually targeted the Prime Minister for being away in many foreign visits during these 2.5 months. But this statement of, from Arvind Kejriwal actually is quite uncharacteristic in the manner in which he has directly targeted the Prime Minister by calling, arguing that his silence on this matter is a sign of weakness. In fact, he went on to say that in such, whenever such things happen, the leader of the country should face issues from the, absolutely head on and not, retreat behind shut doors and remain silent. So very strong attack coming in from the Chief Minister, and he has targeted both the Chief Minister of Manipur and the Prime Minister on this issue. Clearly, using this kind of the kind of anger that this video has generated, which is actually cutting across all sections of people, all sections also within political parties, and targeting the Prime Minister.
Okay, Rupashri, we'll have to leave that conversation there. Thanks a lot for getting us all those details. So as we pointed out, the opposition only mounting pressure, demanding accountability and answers from the state authorities in Manipur and also authorities in the centre. This is a story that we'll keep tracking very, very closely. For now, slipping into a very short break.
And several ministers, including Uday Samant, Dada Saheb Bhuse, they rushed the spot overnight. And even now, we see that Chief Minister Eknath Shinde has also reached the location to take a stock of the situation. In fact, now, considering that the rescue operations are on and CM has said there will be more updates that will be coming in. As of now, there has been a preliminary information considering that late last night this incident took place. And now, the teams have been, in fact, put into action. What we see, in fact, Anjali, for that matter, is that every year, because of rains, there are landslides that occur in Raigad. In fact, the most affected landslide that had taken place in Maharashtra was that of Malin, around approximately 10 years back. Following which, just a few years back, there was another landslide that took place in the Raigad area, and this is in fact the third one. However, we need to wait it out to see the intensity of this landslide, whether the families who was staying there. This is in fact on the foothills of Visalgarh Fort. Now, in fact, what needs to be seen is that the kind of intensity that this has had, because it was late in the night, were there are a lot of people trapped inside. So the rescue operations are on. It is taking a bit longer, which is the NDRF is not able to confirm as to how many people are still trapped inside the debris, but they of course safely confirmed that there were more than 35 families staying in there. And as of now, there have been 4 dead bodies that have been rescued. That have been brought out from the debris, and 3 people rescued from there. Yes.
So, Yasha, the death toll can rise further.
Yes, Anjali, there's a possibility of a death toll rising further because what really happens in these areas, these are usually tribal communities who stay in forest or they stay around the foothills or hills. In this case, their houses, the actual houses have been built for years. However, we see that because of several factors, there are landslides that take place around this area. And usually what happens with such villages is that the entire village sometimes gets washed out. There are various houses which are affected. Only once there will be an official statement is when we'll be able to in fact confirm as to how many houses have been affected, how many people are still trapped inside. But such landslides which they take place around the hill areas, it is usually a huge village of a particular community. Here in case we understand the Thakor community which was staying there. And these are tribal villages who stay in those areas. And considering the incident had taken place late in the night, it is only now that there will be a bit of light there. There will be some clarity from the officials who are working on the spot. Yes.
All right, Yasha, please stay with us. Now let's take a look at this ground report by News18's Vishal Patil.
महाराष्ट्र के रायगढ़ जिले में इरिशाल गांव के ऊपर लैंडस्लाइड हो गया है। इसमें 60 लोग फंस चुके हैं, ये प्राथमिक जानकारी है। और इस यहाँ देख सकते हैं जहाँ लैंडस्लाइड हो गया है वहाँ पर हम पहुँच नहीं सकते क्योंकि बहुत बड़ी रिस्क वहाँ पर है। एनडीआरएफ की टीम वहाँ पर गई है। बहुत ही ऊंचाई पर ये घटना हुई है और यहाँ हम देख सकते हैं कि चारों तरफ से लोग जो है वो यहाँ आए हैं। 60 लोग फंसे हैं, ऐसी प्राथमिक माहिती जो है वो जानकारी मिली है। और इस वक्त अभी देख सकते हैं कि यहाँ पर एनडीआरएफ की टीम आ गई है। एम्बुलेंस जो है यहाँ पर तैनात किए गए हैं। ये जिले के पालक मंत्री और महाराष्ट्र के सरकार में जो बड़े मंत्री है वो भी अभी यहाँ मौजूद है। रात में ये घटना घटी हुई है। रात को 11:30 बजे ये घटना हो चुकी है। इसलिए इरशाल गांव के ऊपर ये बड़ा आक्रोश जो है वो हो चुका है। लैंडस्लाइड की वजह से अभी तक 60 लोग जो है वो उसमें फंस गए हैं।
Crossing over to our correspondent Yesha Kotak, who's bringing us all the latest details on this incident. Yesha, tell us about the rescue operation that is underway.
So yes, we've seen that an NDRF team has been deployed. In fact, the information has come in was there were 2 NDRF teams which were already deployed there. 2 more have been asked to rush to the spot. So as of now, we can safely say that there are 4 NDRF teams will be working on this particular incident. Apart from that, as of now, like we've mentioned, that there's no clarity from NDRF officials as to how many people have been in fact trapped inside. But yes, in and around Maharashtra, we've seen that there were say more than 15 NDRF teams which were deployed. In fact, particularly considering that the situation was expected to be a little tense in Maharashtra for these 2 days, considering there was red alert declared in various parts of the state. These NDRF teams have were in Maharashtra's various locations. Now from these various locations, they've been asked to move towards Khalapur. Let us understand the whole proximity of Khalapur. Khalapur, which is in the Raigad district, is along the Lonavala and the Pune area when we head towards that side, and which is where, considering this entire area is a hilly region, Khalapur is in fact a place where we usually see a village population, apart from that the tribal population which stays there, and most of these people are those who live around the hilly regions. And here, considering that this incident has taken place around the foothills of Isilgarh Fort, what really needs to be seen is that the rescue operations, considering they are around the hill region, they have to be working from other locations. The closest location would be Mumbai and Pune. From there is where the NDRF team would be sending in their deployment. Also around Mahar and Raigad is where NDRF deployment was kept, which is where these teams have been rushed. But now there will be 2 more teams who have been asked to reach there. The nearest teams have reached, but the rescue operations are on, and only once the operations take a speed is when there will be further more clarity on this, Anjali.
All right, Yesha, thank you for getting us all those details. We'll keep coming back to you for more updates on this story. Unfortunate news coming in from the state of Maharashtra, where a landslide occurred in Khalapur, in which 4 people have been dead and 3 have been injured. Now, Chief Minister Eknath Shinde has reached the site to take stock of the situation. NDRF and police teams are also present at the spot. As many as 30 families are feared trapped. The incident occurred at Khalapur in Raigad, which is 6 kilometers away from Chowk village near Morbe Dam, the water supplier for Navi Mumbai. CNN News 18's Yesha Kotak is joining us on this story. Yesha, can you give us the latest updates on this unfortunate incident that has taken place in Maharashtra?
So yes, in fact, what has been reported, in fact, sources have said that as of now, there are 4 people who've reported dead in this incident. There are 3 who've been rescued, injured. Now, like you rightly mentioned, there were more than 35 families. Because of incessant rain overnight, there was a landslide that occurred in the Isilgarh village, which is in Khalapur. This is in the Raigad district. We've seen that yesterday the Raigad district was on red alert, which is it was constantly pouring since the morning, and late in the night.
Welcome back. Thanks a lot for staying with us. We're getting some breaking developments now coming in view of what continues to take place in Manipur. We're now understanding a delegation of MPs from the Trinamool Congress, the TMC, have in fact met the governor of Manipur, and they've put out that they've had a fruitful conversation with the governor in view of the horrific situation that continues to play out in Manipur. Before we play out the reaction that's coming in from the governor, let's bring in our colleague Kamalika Sen-Gupta, who's back with us on the broadcast. So Kamalika, help us understand who all were in attendance as far as this TMC delegation is concerned, and any details emerging of the kind of discussions that they had with the governor.
There were like 5 representatives of Trinamool Congress: Shushmita Dev, Derek O'Brien, Kakoli Ghosasita, Dola Sen, Kalyan Banerjee. They all went and met the governor. Now, Kakoli Ghosasita told us that the situation really is bad there, and it's a war-like situation, and they have apprised the governor. And the governor herself has said that the situation is not right, the situation is not good, and she is also trying everything. She has, Kakoli Ghosasita claims that the governor has spoken to them, and the governor has also parties should actually initiate peace process, because there is an absolute lawlessness in Manipur. So, these are the questions, these are the discussions that took place between the governor and the TMC delegation that went to visit the governor yesterday.
Kamalika, we'll just request you to stay on with us. We're getting a reaction coming in from the governor as well. Let's listen in.
आज इस घटना ने सभी को बहुत ही मतलब जिसने भी देखा है देश भर में सब क्रोधित है, सबको गुस्सा है, और इसीलिए कहा कि इनको छोड़ना नहीं चाहिए जितने भी लोग इसमें इन्वॉल्व थे। जब मैंने उस पीड़िता की रिपोर्ट को देखा, किस तरह से उसने पूरा अपना बयान जारी किया था, कैसे उसके भाई की हत्या, उसके पिताजी की हत्या, उसका घर जला दिया गया, उसके सारे तमाम चीजों को लूट लिया गया, इतनी मतलब हैवानियत की भी एक सीमा, और वो भी हम इस मणिपुर में जहां हम सबको एक कितना गर्व हम होता है, आज हमारे मणिपुर को उन्होंने कलंकित किया है।
Shifting our focus to some other breaking developments coming in, we are now understanding the NIA, the National Investigating Agency, has also cracked the whip as far as an ISIS module in the state of Kerala is concerned. There are some other details that we're picking up as well. The NIA has revealed that they've averted a possible terror attack on places of worship and also leaders of certain communities. We're also understanding certain arrests have been made. The NIA has arrested one accused from a hideout in Tamil Nadu, and there's currently searches that are on in 4 different locations in Palakkad as well as Thrissur. So that's the update that's coming in as far as the AI is concerned, that has achieved major success in busting Kerala ISIS module and preventing communal terror attacks. Our colleague Arunima now joining us on the broadcast. Arunima, what more details do you have?
So this module apparently had already carried out recce's of prominent places, including places of worship. In Thrissur, in Palakkad, they were collecting money. NIA alleges that their main focus was to carry out a terror attack, and this has been going on for some time now. So a case was registered. NIA says that it successfully tracked and arrested one of the suspects, whose name is Ashif. He's also known as Mathila Kat, and he was arrested from Satyamangalam in Tamil Nadu. And as soon as he was arrested, a day later, based on what he told the NIA, searches were conducted in the house of Ashif as well as 3 others who have been identified as Syed Nabil Ahmed, Shiaz TS of Thrissur, and Rais of Palakkad. And from the searches, digital devices and some incriminating documents were seized, which gave NIA insight as to what really was the plan of action. So essentially, NIA is saying they have to nip it in the bud. They had recce, they had carried out, they had money and they were carrying out proper plans. But thankfully, the timely intelligence available has led to the arrest.
Okay, Arunima, we'll have to leave that conversation there. Thanks a lot for getting us all those details. With that, it's a wrap from my side, but news continues here in CNN News 18. Viewpoint is up next.
Apprehensions over the Seema Haider case. Are people blowing it out of proportion that this woman came from Pakistan and, managed to enter India? Or do you think this is indeed a security concern for India?
critical about the government is one thing, but obsessed about one man is another thing. Multiple people on that 28 parties said the same thing. Our agenda is to defeat Modi. So much so, sir, they were not even clear about the name.
Why is the NDA being revived? Is there a genuine sort of fear within the BJP and the NDA that this 26-party alliance, at least on paper, looks formidable?
Good evening and a warm welcome. I'm Griha and you're watching Viewpoint. On May 4th this year, 2 Kuki Zomi women were paraded naked, groped at by monsters in the garb of men. This brutality unfolded just 35 kilometers away from Manipur state capital Imphal in the Kangpokpi district. That's not all. One of the young women, all of 21,